should have been celebrating my grandson hitting the game-winning home run, but instead, I was face down, half dead, in a pile of dirt.
Doctor, did you say diabetic coma?
Ma'am, we're doing everything we can, but we may have no choice but to amputate his right leg. It's in God's hands now.
My type 2 diabetes almost destroyed my life, my family, and everything I held dear. And at 63 years old, my doctor told me I'd be on diabetes drugs and injections for the rest of my days. Yet, within a few weeks of collapsing in front of my family, I slashed my A1C from 9.7 to a perfect 5.2. I torched over 62 pounds of stubborn belly fat, and I flat out reversed my type 2 diabetes without bland diets, exhausting exercises, or expensive meds that riddle you with side effects. Instead, I used a Harvard-backed blood sugar reversing ritual, a 100% safe ritual that comes from a remote village off the coast of Costa Rica, where natives live into their 80s, 90s, and beyond, without ever suffering from diabetes or blood sugar issues, even though they eat a diet full of sugar and lack access to modern medicine. And no, it's not because they have good genes. Ivy League evidence proves this ritual works no matter how old you are or what shape you're in, because it eliminates the newly discovered root cause of type 2 diabetes, which surprisingly has nothing to do with eating carbs, lack of insulin, or even weight gain. Those are just symptoms of one problem underneath it all. You see, just like plaque clogs arteries, Harvard scientists recently discovered that a different type of plaque destroys your pancreas's ability to eliminate blood sugar. Researchers call it pancreas plaque. And right now, as you watch this video, and if you suffer from high blood sugar, the pancreas plaque is clogging, overloading, and blocking your pancreas from flushing out excess blood sugar. This pancreas plaque causes toxic sugar to build up, eat through your blood vessels, seep into your heart, eyes, and nerves, and put you at risk for a heart attack, blindness, amputation, or ending up in a diabetic coma like I did. Fortunately, studies show this Costa Rican ritual eliminates 73% of pancreas plaque, cuts glucose and A1C to normal levels, and reverses this so-called incurable condition in record time. This ritual was actually discovered by a brave doctor fed up with Big Pharma's lies. My friend, the corrupt pharmaceutical companies want to keep us hooked on high-priced meds like metformin, Jardiance, and Ozempic for life. Well, that's why Big Pharma has now put a target on this doctor's back, because his discovery reverses blood sugar without a single pill or injection. Yeah, I know that's a pretty bold promise, but this ritual is based on breakthrough Harvard research. And the transformations of 32,424 now former diabetics. 52-year-old Rod W. in Corpus Christi. My A1C plummeted from 8.3 to 5.3. I've shed 15 pounds, and I'm no longer on insulin or a low-carb diet. My doctor says he's never seen a transformation like this. 67-year-old Tammy F. in Boca Raton. My fasting glucose went from 190 to 110. I've been able to stop using metformin, and I fit back into my skinny jeans. It feels so good not to have to take drugs or eat diet food anymore. Well, this ritual freed me from the type 2 diabetes monster too. And when you start doing this ritual, you'll be able to trash your meds, glucose monitors, and test strips. You'll savor your favorite foods without the guilt trip from your spouse, and you'll enjoy every gathering and every meal with your loved ones, because the doctor will soon say, "Your A1C looks perfect. You no longer have type 2 diabetes." Now, in a second, I'm going to show you a simple at-home test. You can do it right now to determine your level of pancreas plaque buildup. Then I'll also reveal how the absolute worst diabetes drug destroys your bones, muscles, and heart. And I really hope you're not taking this drug. Then I'll show you step-by-step how to perform this ritual in your own home, so you can reverse your high blood sugar faster than you ever thought possible. But I must warn you, there already have been multiple attempts by Big Pharma's lawyers to ban this presentation. So stick with me and watch this video until the very end, because, well, it may not be available for much longer. Okay, so before we get started, let me introduce myself and share what led to this amazing discovery. My name is Scott Hall. I'm not a doctor, dietitian, or health guru. I'm a 63-year-old retired Wisconsin police officer and a proud husband, father, and grandfather. And about a year ago, I almost had my life stolen from me because, without even me knowing it, my blood was quietly being turned into a thick, sugary sludge until I collapsed face first into the mud during my 5-year-old grandson's t-ball game. It was, completely unexpected. You see, in my younger days, I felt invincible. I never had any major health issues, but as my career with the police progressed, I traded in my patrol car for a desk job, pushing papers and managing our squad. And that's when it started. Unexplainable, bone-crushing fatigue no matter how much I slept. Uncontrollable sugar cravings for Cinnabons, cookies, and chocolate cake. And an insatiable thirst no amount of water could quench. Soon, I ballooned up to 250 pounds, even though my diet hadn't changed much. I constantly had to pee, and I couldn't climb a flight of stairs without stopping to catch my breath. My wife insisted I go to the doctor and get checked out. After some routine blood work, my doctor confirmed I had type 2 diabetes. I was crushed. I couldn't believe this impossible-to-cure life sentence that was now my reality. A whirlwind of thoughts consumed me. Would I need to start pricking my finger every morning? Would I need to take drugs for the rest of my life? And what would I tell my wife and kids? My doctor casually said I could manage it with meds, diet, and exercise, as if it's no big deal to inject yourself for the rest of your life. But you probably know how diabetes casts a dark shadow over everything. And before you know it, you got a drawer full of glucose monitors, needles, and test strips. And you watch your family scarf down pizza, pasta, and ice cream while you push tasteless veggies around your plate. Your doctor hounds you to lose weight as he piles on the meds. Metformin, Januvia, Ozempic, drugs that can make you feel nauseous, dizzy, and gain even more weight. Look, if this sounds familiar, any of it, I get it. I lived that hell for years, and I couldn't help but blame myself. No drug or diet permanently reduced my blood sugar. Instead, things got worse. Burning nerve pain kept me tossing and turning all night. I was afraid to get a paper cut because my wounds stopped healing. And my wife and I only made love a few times a year, because I had zero energy or sex drive. And while my wife was supportive, I couldn't shake the feeling that she resented me for putting this burden on our family. And if your loved ones are constantly worrying about your diabetes, nagging you about what you should and shouldn't be eating, constantly watching over your shoulder, well, then you know where I'm coming from. Diabetes can make you feel helpless, alone, and like there's no escape from this prison, even when you do everything your doctor tells you to do. And that's why it's so important that you keep watching. You'll learn how to use this Costa Rican ritual to flush out those pancreas plaques and lower your glucose to a perfect non-diabetic range, no matter your age or condition. This ritual liberated me and over 32,424 other people, so it will work for you too. Yet, as the saying goes, before things get better, they often have to get worse. So it was a sunny Saturday morning at my 5-year-old grandson Liam's t-ball game, and I find a seat in the bleachers along with all the other proud parents and grandparents here to cheer on those little sluggers. Liam steps up to bat in hand. He swings and crack! Yeah, man, that ball sails over the fence for a home run. A big, goofy grin stretches across his face as he runs around the bases. As soon as Liam's foot hits home plate, he bursts towards me shouting, "Grandpa, I did it!" I step down from the bleachers to give him a huge hug, yet something is off. My vision starts to blur. A cold sweat breaks out across my neck. I sway, I stumble, and then I crash to my knees. "Grandpa!" Liam cries out as his little hands claw at my shirt. I try to yell for help, but I can't. I can't even breathe. And then everything goes black. And you can probably imagine what happened next. Bright lights jar me awake. I'm breathing through an oxygen mask, and I see my wife slumped in a chair next to the hospital bed that I'm laying in, her eyes swollen from crying. Confused, the only thing I can think of is my grandson. Is Liam okay? What happened? Where am I? I mumble through the mask. My wife chokes back tears, grips my hand and says, "Honey, Liam is fine. But you collapsed and went into a diabetic coma. Your blood sugar was 6 times the normal level. And the doctor examined your right leg," she said, placing a gentle hand on my thigh. "He said you have diabetic artery disease. And if we can't control your blood sugar, he may have to amputate your leg." Tears flooded down my cheeks. I felt so angry, ashamed, and broken. I'd done everything my doctor had ordered me to do. And for what? I'd nearly dropped dead in front of my grandson. It was just like I was standing on the edge of the cliff, just seconds from falling off. Then I see my grandson burst into the room crying, and one look at his face was the wake-up call that I needed. I couldn't play the victim card. I couldn't fail my family. That night, I prayed to God to guide me to the solution that I desperately needed, and the solution that you need, too, so you can live like you did before diabetes took over your life. That's all coming up in about 2 minutes, so keep watching. Now, on the car ride home from the hospital, I knew I couldn't live another 20 years like this, and I knew I had to find a solution that didn't require outrageous medical bills, pills, or strict diets. So I started doing my own research. I spent weeks reading articles and studies online, and I paid a fortune to get a second opinion from every so-called diabetes expert in the city. Yet it was the same old song and dance about strict diets, drugs, run-of-the-mill supplements, but something wasn't right. Either doctors were missing part of the puzzle, or as you'll soon see, Big Pharma was suppressing information, even giving doctors kickbacks for every diabetes drug they dole out. So I kept on researching, but it was a dead end after dead end until I hit pay dirt in the strangest way. One night, as I sat bleary-eyed in front of my laptop, lost in a labyrinth of online health forums, a forum post title caught my eye. Rogue MD claims he's found the cure to type 2 diabetes. The post told the story of Dr. Eli Yoder, a doctor who spent years studying the Nicoya tribe in Costa Rica. Nicoya is one of the world-famous blue zones where people live longer, healthier lives. Dr. Yoder discovered that despite the tribe's love for rice, carbs, and high-sugar fruits, type 2 diabetes is unheard of among the Nicoyan people. And while modern medicine fails to stop diabetes, thanks to what Dr. Yoder discovered living with this tribe, he developed a breakthrough that helped a group of diabetics completely reverse their type 2 diabetes without a single drug or major dietary change. It was a miracle. Something that would have changed modern medicine forever, until Big Pharma threatened to lock him up if he ever took his discovery public. Yet, in just a moment, you'll find out the truth behind Big Pharma's attempt to silence Dr. Yoder. And even more importantly, you'll see how to use this same breakthrough to free yourself from high blood sugar. Now, the same obscure forum post listed Dr. Yoder's phone number, so I took a deep breath and called him. It went straight to voicemail, and I left a message with my number. He didn't call back. So I called again, no answer. Was the number even real? Had Big Pharma put him in jail? Well, a few days later, I received a call marked private on my caller ID. I figured it was some telemarketer, but I picked it up anyway. A deep, raspy voice on the other end identified himself as Dr. Eli Yoder. Now, Dr. Yoder was a brilliant man, articulate, yet approachable, and he shared his unique journey from studying the locals in Nicoya to being silenced by Big Pharma when he attempted to reveal his secret to the world. I told him about my own struggle, how I'd done everything I'd been told to do, low-carb diets, strenuous exercise, countless drugs, yet nothing worked. Dr. Yoder sighed and remarked, "Please understand that none of this is your fault. And I'm not saying that to be nice. Big Pharma has rigged the game against you." Dr. Yoder explained that Big Pharma's goal is not to cure type 2 diabetes. Their goal is to drain your wallet by keeping you chained to pills and injections for life. Dr. Yoder's voice boomed as he spoke with more passion. He said Big Pharma prefers to ignore the deadly side effects from diabetes drugs. They'll never tell you that Ozempic destroys muscle and bone mass, or that Januvia can cause heart failure, or that metformin can trigger literal acid to build up in the bloodstream, which can kill you in the blink of an eye. Then Dr. Yoder remarked that drugs only address the symptoms of high blood sugar, never the root cause. So as soon as you go off the drug, your blood sugar shoots back up. So you're chained to these drugs forever. And when I asked Dr. Yoder what is the real root cause behind high blood sugar, what he revealed next changed everything. He said, forget everything you've ever heard about managing your blood sugar. Do not blame a sedentary lifestyle, genetics, or eating too many sweets. In fact, Americans are exercising more than ever and have actually decreased their sugar and carb consumption. Dr. Yoder explained that the real villain behind soaring blood sugar levels is far more insidious than just eating too many donuts. It's something your doctor hasn't mentioned, and it all starts in your pancreas. You see, normally your pancreas is excellent at vacuuming excess sugar from your blood and burning it for energy. Unfortunately, Harvard researchers recently discovered that just like plaque clogs arteries, a newly discovered pancreas plaque clogs the pancreas, and it prevents it from sucking up excess sugar, just like a clogged vacuum can't suck up dirt. This leaves you with a buildup of toxic sugar swirling around in your blood. This sends your blood sugar, A1C, and waistline soaring, and triggers type 2 diabetes. Eventually, these pancreas plaques cause so much sugar to accumulate that it eats through your blood vessels and starts infecting other organs like the brain, where it can cause Alzheimer's disease, and the eyes, where it destroys the retina and can cause blindness, and the nerve cells in your hands, legs, and feet, where it triggers tingling, burning nerve pain that drives you insane, and can even lead to amputation. Now, Big Pharma convinces doctors to control blood sugar with drugs like metformin, Ozempic, or insulin. But that's a lot like trying to extinguish a forest fire with a squirt gun. Meds only temporarily mop up excess sugar. They don't eliminate pancreas plaque, which is what causes blood sugar to skyrocket in the first place. Dr. Yoder stressed that pancreas plaque doesn't form simply because of age, genetics, or diet. Shocking studies from prestigious institutions like the University of Malta and the University of Arizona all suggest pancreas plaques form due to one thing: exposure to over 200,000 chemicals and toxins every single day. Toxins in our air and our drinking water. Chemicals snuck inside soaps, shampoos, and other personal care products. And preservatives and artificial sweeteners and diet sodas and processed foods. Dr. Yoder developed a simple test that determines your level of pancreas plaques. Just ask yourself these questions. 1. Do you suffer from high blood sugar? 2. Do you constantly crave sweets and carbs? 3. Can you reach down and grab fat around your belly? 4. Are you on at least one blood sugar medication? If you answered yes to at least 3 of these questions, then it's a guarantee these plaques are causing your blood sugar problems. Now, you're probably thinking what I was. How can anyone possibly avoid 200,000 toxins if they're really everywhere? Well, Dr. Yoder explained that he'd helped out countless diabetics by using rare plant compounds he'd found hidden in the jungles of Nicoya, one of the world-famous blue zones where natives live longer, healthier lives. Studies show that despite Nicoya's levels of toxins being almost identical to those in America, and even though Nicoyans eat high amounts of sugar and carb-filled fruits and starches, type 2 diabetes is still unheard of. And that's when it became obvious why Big Pharma hates Dr. Yoder. Dr. Yoder found a rare Nicoyan fruit helps flush out pancreas plaques unlike anything else. For centuries, Nicoyan natives used this fruit as a remedy for good health and even sexual vigor. And now, top European researchers discovered this fruit flushes out 51% of pancreas plaques, decreases fasting glucose levels by an astounding 50%, and helps significantly lower A1C without a single dietary change. In another massive study, patients ate a ton of delicious, sugar-filled foods, but because they ate this fruit beforehand, it didn't matter. Because this fruit lowered their after-meal glucose by a whopping 35%, which means this fruit stopped the blood sugar spike before it could even begin. Dr. Yoder said that when you take a bit of this fruit extract, you can enjoy pizza, pasta, and pie without worry. No more keto diets, carb counting, or disgusting diet foods. Heck, this fruit is such a powerful healer, research shows it can even help heal diabetic skin wounds. This superfruit's name is Mamortica chia, but that's just a start. Dr. Yoder said that when you combine Mamortica chia with 2 more Costa Rican supernutrients, your blood sugar levels will calm down even faster, and you'll shed more weight than you ever thought possible. The next supernutrient is an herb that grows on a woody rainforest vine. This herb is also proven to help fight off pancreas plaques. Yet, even more importantly, it does something Big Pharma's meds will never do. It helps rejuvenate and repair your pancreas. So it sucks out sugar like a high-powered shop vac. A major study found this herb reduces glucose by an astounding 30%. And a nice little side effect, a landmark study found this herb actually blocks sugar absorption in your intestines. This means that when you chow down on that slice of cheesecake, those sugars and carbs pass right on through without being stored as belly fat. A study published by the European Journal of Pharmacology found this super nutrient helped people easily drop 10 to 15 pounds without giving up their favorite foods. A dream come true, right? I'd say it's even better than a dream come true. It's proof you don't have to eat like a rabbit to control your blood sugar or shed those stubborn pounds. This super nutrient's name is Paraploca, and as amazing as Paraploca and Mamortica chia are, the next super nutrient in Dr. Yoder's arsenal might be the most exciting one yet, because once your A1C level is perfect, you're off all meds and you've lost a ton of weight, I'll assume you never want to go back to pricking your finger ever again, right? Of course, there's just one problem. Pancreas plaque-causing toxins are still everywhere, and the onslaught is constant. So in order to reverse type 2 diabetes for good, we need to protect the pancreas from those toxins. Now for that, Dr. Yoder recommended a natural compound studied by top scientists at Harvard and Yale. This compound is one of the world's most powerful antioxidants. Countless studies show it acts like a shield against pancreas plaques and toxins. In addition, it also helps eliminate the awful burning and tingling of diabetic neuropathy. That nutrient's name is thiotic acid. But at the end of the day, it's really not about clinical studies or these miracle nutrients themselves. It's about enjoying meals and birthday parties without being the odd one out eating broccoli, celery, and kale salads. It's about shedding those ugly pounds and looking better than you have in years. And it's about knowing you'll never be forced to take another diabetes drug again. Never become a burden on your family, and never lose a limb. Now, all this made sense. And the research from Harvard, the University of Arizona, and countless other prestigious universities was sound. But I was still skeptical. And I think Dr. Yoder sensed that, because he said, look, I have a small amount of all 3 nutrients. I'll send you what I have left so that you can test it for yourself. But that's as far as I go. I can't help you any further. Now, Dr. Yoder said he'd battled Big Pharma long enough, and that it was time for someone else to pick up the torch. Well, I understood. So I gave him my address and thanked him for his time. A week later, a package arrived with 3 different fruits and herbs. Per Dr. Yoder's instructions, I blended a bit of all 3 ingredients into a smoothie and drank it down. And the waiting began. A day passed, 2, then 3, but my blood sugar readings barely budged. I thought, yeah, dummy, of course, too good to be true. But God told me to keep going, so I faithfully took my formula every day. And on the 5th day, my morning reading, usually above 200, dipped to 180. Now, not a massive change, but that was a start. By the 2nd week, my fasting blood sugar was down to 142, and I stepped on the scale 6 pounds lighter, even though I hadn't changed my diet or exercise routine. And shockingly, the cracks and wounds on my feet started to heal after months. Now, a few days later, my blood sugar readings were around 131. I woke up with more energy. My uncontrollable sugar cravings were gone, and I was down another 7 pounds. Plus, the tingling in my feet and hands subsided, and I could sleep at night uninterrupted again. Soon, my transformation was undeniable. My blood sugar was down to 118, the lowest it's been in over a decade, and I'd lost 25 pounds. But the real victory came weeks later as I sat in the doctor's office, holding my breath as he looked at my blood work. "Scott," he said, scrunching his face, this is unbelievable. Your A1C is at 5.2. It means you're no longer diabetic. I don't see any reason to write you a refill. Just keep doing whatever you're doing." Well, I walked out of the doctor's office feeling 10 feet tall, completely energized and pumped up. In fact, I raced home, took my wife straight to the bedroom, and we had sex like teenagers again. Because imagine being at the mercy of a ticking time bomb of diabetes for years, to your doctor saying you're totally free, yet you no longer have to imagine, because soon you're going to feel the exact same relief and happiness I did. And lower blood sugar is just the start. Thanks to Dr. Yoder's recipe, my body now burns all excess sugar for energy instead of holding on to it as belly fat. In fact, after it was all said and done, I shed 62 pounds without changing my diet or exercise routine. I fit back into an old pair of skinny pants I hadn't worn since, I was a street cop. I'm no longer the fat, sick Scott. I'm revitalized, in control, and feel young again. And once people saw how thin and healthy I looked, they bombarded me with questions. Like me, I'm sure you have loved ones who struggle with high blood sugar. And now that I have the solution, I can't keep it to myself. But before I shared it with friends and loved ones, Dr. Yoder suggested that we add an extra cocktail of blood sugar-lowering nutrients that work synergistically with those first 3 ingredients. This means even faster and even better results. Now, first, we added 5 more clinically proven Costa Rican fruits and spices, juniper berry and mulberry fruit powder, to lower fasting glucose levels by 39%, cassia bark to lower A1C and glucose by up to 29%, yarrow herb powder to strengthen your pancreas so it burns sugar for energy instead of storing it as fat, and cayenne pepper extract to fire up your fat-burning metabolism. Then we added a super amino acid called L-taurine to reduce insulin resistance by up to 15%. Next, we added another trio of blood sugar-lowering extracts: licorice root extract, chromium, and biotin. And no formula is complete without the blood sugar-fighting superminerals most Americans are deficient in: magnesium, manganese, and zinc. And finally, we added vitamin E and vitamin C to fight inflammation and reduce pancreas plaques by 73%. All in all, that's 18 clinically proven blood sugar-fighting supernutrients. And it's this combination of 18 ingredients that's the real secret sauce behind why this formula works so well. You see, these 18 nutrients are far more powerful when combined than by themselves, which is why this formula reverses blood sugar issues even when everything else fails. And the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. When I gave this batch to a few friends and loved ones, nothing, and I repeat, nothing, could have prepared us for what happened next. Just weeks after I gave out our formula, I started receiving text messages from people seeing amazing results very quickly. Folks told me their morning blood sugar readings were lower. They said they felt more energy. They were even losing weight. And my wife's best friend, who's been a type 2 diabetic for 11 years, she told me that her A1C level is down to 5.3, and she no longer fears for her future because she knows she'll be around for years to care for her family and to see her grandkids grow up. That's something that no amount of money can buy. Listen, I was thrilled to see how this formula was changing people's lives, but they were all so furious. Why wasn't every doctor on the planet giving this to their patients? Well, probably because these nutrients are all natural. That means the drug companies can't patent them for profit. And once you're diabetes-free using a natural, no side effect solution, you'll no longer need their expensive drugs, and Big Pharma's billion-dollar profit machine would screech to a halt. Listen, the pharmaceutical bigwigs only care about the almighty dollar, their almighty dollar. So they will never share this solution with the world. And that's why it's my mission to continue Dr. Yoder's work and get this breakthrough into the hands of as many people as possible. The only issue was cost. It cost $1,740 to formulate a 30-day supply. Because remember, these are ultra-rare nutrients. You just can't pick them up on any website or at any health store. Plus, the supply chains continue to be messed up. Sourcing these nutrients is extremely expensive and cumbersome. And while I'm sure many people would gladly invest $1,740 a month to permanently eliminate their blood sugar issues, we insisted that this formula be affordable for everyone, especially seniors on a fixed income. No, I'm not some hot-shot businessman, but I do know you can lower costs by ordering in bulk. So I called around and I talked to numerous U.S. suppliers until I finally found a distributor with connections, special connections, in Costa Rica. They said they could obtain large, ultra-pure batches of each ingredient and put them into an affordable, easy-to-swallow capsule you take every day. So after close to a year of going back and forth, taking on loans and spending tens of thousands of dollars on research and development and meeting with lawyers and legal experts to fend off Big Pharma, I'm thrilled to present Gluco Savior, the first and only natural solution that contains the specific blend of 18 nutrients, all proven to clear out pancreas plaques, stabilize glucose and A1C levels, and reverse type 2 diabetes. Let me be clear, there's never been anything like Gluco Savior in the history of blood sugar support. Balancing your blood sugar, shedding unwanted weight, and regaining control of your life couldn't be any easier or more automatic. This breakthrough formula is far more effective than any drug, diet, or run-of-the-mill supplement will ever be. Just ask the over 32,424 men and women whose lives have been changed thanks to Gluco Savior. 53-year-old Jenny S. from Tampa Bay. My A1C plummeted just weeks after starting Gluco Savior. My doctor was amazed and took me off 2 of my medications. I feel 20 years younger. 73-year-old Bill R. from Sacramento. My blood sugar levels were out of control despite medication. But thanks to Gluco Savior, my A1C went from 9.1 to 5.3 in 5 months, and I was able to stop taking insulin shots. This stuff really works. And 62-year-old Debbie W. from Detroit. I've lost 32 pounds and my blood sugar is the best it's been in over a decade thanks to Gluco Savior. My husband is stunned. He says I look sexier now than I did in my 30s. I feel like I'm back in control of my life. And now, my friend, it's time for you to regain control over your life again. Just take 2 small, natural, side effect-free capsules of Gluco Savior daily and let your body do the rest. You'll soon walk out of your doctor's office with a 100% clean bill of health without having to change a single thing about your lifestyle. Every bottle of Gluco Savior is bottled right here in the USA in our state-of-the-art FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility. Gluco Savior is all natural, non-GMO, and completely safe. I'll tell you how to access this life-transforming formula in just a minute. But first, let me ask you this. If money was no object, how much would you pay to live a life free of anger, fear, or worry about the future? How much would you pay to enjoy a fun, adventurous life without diabetes? How much would you pay to enjoy the freedom to travel, dance, make love, and be a more present spouse, parent, friend, grandparent? My friend, really let yourself feel what it would be like to enjoy pizza, pasta, pie, and all of life's pleasures without the dark shadow of diabetes looming over you. Would you pay $5,000? $10,000? Can you even put a number on it? Well, good news. You won't pay anything close to $10,000 for Gluco Savior, even though many people pay tens of thousands of dollars a year for expensive medications, meal plans, and doctor's appointments. But this isn't about money for me. This is about knowing what it's like to be a slave to daily pinpricks, medications, and tasteless food. You know life is very short, and wasting precious minutes worrying about diabetes and all of its complications is a terrible way to live. Listen, I don't want you or anyone else to spend one more second worrying about your blood sugar. I've been blessed to have stumbled upon this amazing formula. All I care about is getting it into the hands of as many people as possible. In fact, our goal is to free 1 million diabetics in the next year. So we don't want your money. We want you to be our next success story. That's why you won't pay the $599 price my accountant recommends. Even though I will be forced to charge a minimum of $197 a bottle in the upcoming days to cover increasing costs, you won't pay $197 today either. Right now, and only on this page, you can get a massively discounted 30-day supply of Gluco Savior for a low one-time fee of just $69. Yeah, just $69. It's an astounding 65% off the $197 price we'll be forced to charge later. And before you place your order, it's important to know that research shows it's best to take Gluco Savior consistently for 90 to 180 days to experience optimal results. In fact, if you're over 40 and carrying at least 5 to 10 extra pounds and have been diagnosed with prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, or if your doctor won't shut up about your rising A1C, medical experts highly recommend you take Gluco Savior for at least 180 days. This allows enough time for Gluco Savior to flush all those deadly pancreas plaques and get you off any medications you might be taking today. Plus, while Gluco Savior starts working the day you take your first capsule, reversing type 2 diabetes doesn't always happen overnight, especially if your blood sugar levels are as bad as mine were. In my case, it took a few months before I went from being a type 2 diabetic to completely normal. And now I take Gluco Savior like a multivitamin to ensure I'll never have to go back to the medications, diets, or pinpricks ever again. Now, if your blood sugar isn't as bad as mine was, you'll probably see even faster results. Still, it's important to commit to Gluco Savior for at least 6 months. And frankly, you'll probably want to take it a lot longer than that anyway. After all, this formula also revs up your fat-burning metabolism. This means Gluco Savior will help you burn off and keep off those extra pounds, too. Just ask Dave from Wisconsin, who said, 6 months on Gluco Savior and my A1C is perfect and I've lost 41 pounds. My wife says I'm now too skinny. She's trying to plump me back up with her delicious brownies. So to 100% guarantee a full head-to-toe transformation, I'm going to let you order 6 months worth of Gluco Savior at an astounding one-time discount of just $49 a bottle. That's an extra $20 off every single bottle. This brings your investment to ending blood sugar worries forever down to just $1.60 a day, which is way less than paying doctor's visits, medications, and disgusting diet food. Heck, I bet you pay more for coffee. Plus, we're going to even cover the $9.99 shipping cost. However, the popularity of the 6-month discount package means Gluco Savior is flying off the shelves. We're selling out much faster than anticipated. And once we sell out of Gluco Savior, it will take 6 to 8 months before another batch is available. That's why 96% of people grab the 6-month ultimate discount package. They save a ton of money. They ensure long-term lasting results. And they also have extra bottles to share with loved ones. 1 bottle of Gluco Savior will flush out those pancreas plaques and start stabilizing your blood sugar. 3 bottles will continue lowering your A1C, while helping your body burn excess sugar for energy instead of storing it around your belly. And 6 months of Gluco Savior will help keep your glucose levels, A1C, and weight in the perfect range for life. Just like 74-year-old Ron B. from Green Bay. I started with Gluco Savior about 6 months ago, and now my blood sugar is steady, and I'm not on any medications anymore. It's not every day you find something that actually delivers on its promises, but I'll take this stuff forever. Good idea, Ron. Plus, when you order 6 bottles of Gluco Savior in the next 6 minutes and 27 seconds, I'll also send you a $127 mystery package absolutely free. Now, I don't want to give away the surprise, but the mystery package includes a super simple, easy-to-follow blueprint on what to do before you receive Glucose Savior in the mail. So you can start lowering your blood sugar and losing weight tonight. Plus, you'll receive a surefire bonus secret that makes Glucose Savior work even faster. The mystery package is valued at $127, yet you'll receive instant access when you snag a 6-month supply in the next 6 minutes or so. Not a bad deal, right? I mean, heck, short of inviting you out for your favorite pizza place, well, there's no way I could make this a better deal for you. However, let me be super clear about a couple things. First, you'll never be able to buy Glucose Savior cheaper than today, right now. I can only offer today's incredible pricing because I've partnered directly with the manufacturer so that we can ship directly to you right away. That's why Glucose Savior is only available on this page. In fact, if you see a product called Glucose Savior on Amazon, eBay, or anywhere else, do not buy it. It's some scammer ripping off our name and using cheap, potentially dangerous ingredients to make a quick buck. You'll only find the real Glucose Savior formula that actually works on this page. Furthermore, this is a one-time payment. There are no hidden subscription charges or subscription fees. I've always hated that as much as you do. But I must warn you, the big pharma fat cats hate that there's a natural, effective way to reduce blood sugar. They'd love to see this presentation taken down. Now, we refuse to let Big Pharma win, but please know that many of these ingredients are only available during specific harvesting windows, and I'll do everything I can to make sure we maintain stock, but there's never a guarantee. That's why it's smart to stock up right now, because Glucose Savior may not be around for long. Okay, at this point, you're probably thinking that this all sounds really exciting, and you're probably wondering how to get started. Well, provided Glucose Savior is still in stock, you'll see 3 money-saving options below this video. Now, if you want to save the most money and guarantee lasting results, click the Add to Cart button on that 6-bottle package. You'll then be taken to our ultra-secure 256-bit order page. Fill in your details and confirm your order on our secure checkout form. And the guys in the warehouse will immediately start packing up and shipping out your supply. And listen, even though Glucose Savior has received countless 5-star reviews from people of all ages and conditions, I understand if you're still a bit skeptical. After all, the $80 billion diabetes industry has misled us for decades. They've hoodwinked millions of Americans into believing that pills, injections, and strict diets are our only options. But just think about what you've been doing all these years. All of the prescription drugs, all of the diets, all the doctor's appointments, and what you have to show for it. Probably nothing. But that's actually Big Pharma's plan. They don't want to cure your diabetes. They want to suck your wallet dry until the day you die. But Glucose Savior is unlike anything else you've ever tried. The science supporting these 18 cutting-edge nutrients is overwhelming. It's the first and only formula designed to flush out pancreas plaques and suck out extra blood sugar like a high-powered shop vac. You've seen Glucose Savior work wonders for me, and you've also seen a few stories from the over 32,424 people whose lives Glucose Savior has changed. And you've also seen a few stories from the over 32,000 people whose lives Glucose Savior has changed. So you know it'll probably work for you too. And I'm actually going to 100% guarantee it will work for you. Yeah, ask your doctor for that guarantee. I'm going to guarantee it when you join us right now. You're protected by our 100% no questions asked money back guarantee. If investing in Glucose Savior doesn't turn out to be the best decision you've ever made, just let us know within the next 180 days and we'll refund every penny. Yeah, every penny. Our industry-leading customer care team and I are easy to get a hold of. We'll also be here to help support you no matter what. The bottom line is I'm not asking you to believe anything yet. I'm just asking you to test drive Glucose Savior for 6 months and then decide if it's right for you. You don't risk 1 red cent. In fact, the only risk you face is the risk of pain and regret. If you miss out on experiencing this life-changing formula when you had the chance, remember, No diet, exercise, or medication you've tried has even had a fair chance at working because they don't address the root cause of blood sugar issues, those pancreas plaques. But Gluco Savior does. So select our best-selling 6-month package before we sell out and get ready to experience the simplest, easiest, fastest transformation of your life, 100% risk-free today. Now, if you've not taken action yet, then you might not know it, but you're at an important crossroads in your life right now. The crossroads leads to two very different futures. Option one would be for you to just ignore everything you've just seen today. You could continue to ignore all the incredible studies, the mountains of data proving Gluco Savior's rare nutrients normalize your blood sugar levels at lightning speed. You could choose to ignore all the science and all of the world-class doctors and nutritional scientists who have staked their reputation on the effectiveness of this truly life-changing formula. You could choose to do nothing and carry on, but you already know what will happen if you go down that path, right? I mean, we know. Nothing will change in your life. Well, except one thing. As more time passes, your blood sugar will get even worse. You will need to take higher doses of drugs that riddle you with side effects. You will never be free to eat the foods you love without worry or guilt. Your body, your health, and your energy levels will continue to decline. And if you made the terrible mistake of just letting these pancreas plaques completely obliterate your pancreas and blood vessels, you may lose your eyesight. You could suffer a heart attack. You might even lose a limb. I'm not saying any of this to scare you. I already know what my experience was. I'm saying that because it's the truth. Unfortunately, most people wait too long to act. I did. And over 200,000 Americans undergo amputation every single year. And if you lost a limb, or heaven forbid, lost your precious eyesight, you'd rely on your loved ones to help you with even simple tasks, like taking a shower, grocery shopping, just getting on and off the freaking toilet. Look, I don't want you to be a victim here, and I know it's not what you want for yourself. Fortunately, you have a much better, easier, and more enjoyable option. And let's face it, it's really the only option you have. Put Gluco Savior to the test 100% risk-free for a full 180 days. Just imagine the difference this will make in your life. You'll be leaner, healthier, and in control. You'll be free to enjoy your favorite foods without a shred of guilt or worry. You'll be free from the anxiety of constantly monitoring your blood sugar. You'll be free from the constant doctor's appointments. You'll be free from expensive medications and needles. You'll no longer be a burden on your family. And you'll be free to enjoy more time with your loved ones. And isn't that what life is all about? I mean, really about enjoying life with the people you love. Look, for your sake and for your family's sake, I pray you grab Gluco Savior. And I pray you allow Gluco Savior to help you live an easy, fun life again. But only you can make that decision. Just remember, your results are 100% guaranteed. You risk absolutely nothing when you try Gluco Savior right now. That makes it an absolute no-brainer to grab 6 bottles, save the most money, and ensure long-term results. But I can't guarantee this discount much longer. This is the end of the road. It's time to take action. Grab the 6-bottle package or any other money-saving option below. I'll say it one more time. You risk absolutely nothing. Go on and take this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to change your life. Make the right decision for yourself and your family while you still can. Your loved ones will be so proud of you. Select your money-saving package below and take advantage of today's 100% risk-free opportunity to finally claim the health and life you truly deserve. Thank you for letting me share this wonderful discovery with you. God bless you and your family. This is Scott Hull signing off. Hey, still here? Hey, no problem. I know we just covered a lot. Let me go ahead and answer some of the most common questions people have. So question 1, how does Gluco Savior work? Glucose Savior contains a special blend of 18 nutrients, 18 rare nutrients, scientifically proven to flush out pancreas plaques by up to 73%. The key ingredients like Mamortica charengia, Paraploca, and thoracic acid work together to dissolve and eliminate deadly pancreas plaques that block your body's ability to regulate blood sugar, and by declogging your pancreas. Glucose Savior allows it to properly absorb excess glucose from your bloodstream so that your blood sugar normalizes quickly and safely. Okay, question 2. Why haven't I heard about Glucose Savior before? Glucose Savior's formula is derived from an ancient remedy used for centuries by the Nicoyan people of Costa Rica to naturally treat high blood sugar. It remained a secret until Dr. Eli Yoder, a renegade doctor on a mission to find a natural diabetes remedy, discovered it. Once Dr. Yoder revealed that this remedy could reverse diabetes, Big Pharma set their sights on silencing him. They know that this all-natural formula would destroy their $80 billion diabetes drug empire built on worthless pills and injections. Fortunately, we're able to now share Glucose Savior's remarkable healing power with the public and defy Big Pharma's greed and deception. Question 3. Who can take Glucose Savior? Well, Glucose Savior is for anyone suffering from high blood sugar. Whether you've been diagnosed with prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, are insulin resistant, overweight, or simply want to optimize your blood sugar levels, Glucose Savior is for you. It's just as effective for seniors with severe blood sugar problems as it is for younger folks wanting to control their weight and fight off diabetes. Thousands of customers have praised Glucose Savior. 53-year-old Jenny S. from Tampa Bay. My A1C dropped from 9.3 to 6 in just 2 months after starting Glucose Savior. My doctor was amazed and took me off 2 of my medications. I feel 20 years younger. 73-year-old Bill R. from Sacramento. My blood sugar levels were out of control despite medication. But thanks to Glucose Savior, my A1C went from 9.1 to 5.3 in 5 months, and I was able to stop taking insulin shots. This stuff really works. And 62-year-old Debbie W. from Detroit. I've lost 32 pounds, and my blood sugar is the best it's been in over a decade thanks to Glucose Savior. My husband is stunned. He says I look sexier than I did in my 30s. I feel like I'm back in control of my life. Here's a good one. Question 4. What happens after I order today? Well, Glucose Savior will arrive within 5 business days after you place your order. Take 2 capsules daily with food. In just 1 week, you'll notice your blood sugar readings decreasing and your energy levels increasing. With continued use, you'll experience steady improvements in blood sugar control, weight loss, and overall health. For long-lasting results in blood sugar regulation, we recommend taking Glucose Savior for at least 6 months. That's why it's a smart idea to grab the 6-month package to save the most money and always have enough on hand. And speaking of results, question 5, how long until I see results? Clinical studies show Glucose Savior can start working within hours. However, for full declogging of pancreas plaques, weight loss, and medication-free blood sugar regulation, studies suggest taking Glucose Savior consistently for 6 months or longer. It may take time to fully cleanse years or decades of plaque buildup, but stick with it and you'll be amazed by your transformation. Question 6, what if Glucose Savior doesn't work for me? Fair enough. Every order of Glucose Savior is protected by our ironclad 180-day money-back guarantee. If for any reason you're unsatisfied, just let us know within 180 days for a fast and courteous refund, no questions asked. Simple. We stand behind our product 100%. Question 7, how long will Glucose Savior be available? Well, Glucose Savior contains an exclusive blend of 18 ultra-rare nutrients harvested from remote regions during tiny seasonal windows. Their rarity and potency is why Glucose Savior is so unique and powerful. Unfortunately, this means supplies are pretty much always limited. And now that Big Pharma realizes Glucose Savior could destroy their $80 billion diabetes racket, they've unleashed their lawyers to ban it entirely. Listen, we're doing everything possible to keep Glucose Savior available, but between dwindling supplies, pressure from Big Pharma's lawyers, we could be forced to halt production at any moment. That's why it's absolutely critical you take advantage of this opportunity to stock up while you still can. This could be your last chance to get your hands on the only natural solution capable of reversing high blood sugar for good. That's also why our smartest customers stock up on the biggest packages. They never want to be without Gluco Savior. And they love saving hundreds of dollars too. Just click the 6-month option below. Complete your order and Gluco Savior will be in your hands just a few business days from right now. Plus, there is no risk because of my ironclad guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Go on, grab the 6-bottle package below this video right now.